All right. Any final thoughts on Avatar streaming before we shift gears?
We could have just made this the whole show and not talked about the next one.
The next one's very interesting to talk about, though.
It is.
I haven't seen it yet. I'm going to see it tomorrow.
I haven't seen it yet either. There's reasons why I haven't.
Probably
seen it.
not going to see it. I don't know.
I wish
once it's streaming, maybe.
Did you say I wish I didn't see it?
Yeah, but that's
did you not like it?
That's well. So
I'll be completely honest. The only reason I want to still go see it is because of Supergirl.
So
yeah, her and Michael Keaton.
She's barely in it, right?
I don't know. I haven't seen it.
How much do you want me to say?
Well, I don't want you to spoil it for people.
Don't talk about the movie itself.
No. So this was here are my let me see my thoughts. Here are my thoughts. I put this in a text to someone who texted me saying I really enjoyed it. I had a lot of fun with it, and I responded and said, if I'm being honest, it was fine. My least favorite things was the Flash stuff, which is a bummer because he's my favorite DC hero. Some of the action was cool. CGI was not. It also felt like there was no real weight behind it. Kind of predictable, and I never really felt like the stakes were that high. Like I said, it did some good things. I didn't hate it whatsoever, but it had a very high mountain from the start. So I really struggled with the kind of like, I guess just using the same word, the stakes of it all. Like you just saw where it was headed. Like, and then there were a few surprises. Don't get me wrong. Like there were some really interesting decisions. There were some. I've
heard of some choices.
There were some very interesting cameos. I'll tell you that. And some of the Flash stuff was cool. For the majority of it, like I didn't. And maybe it's my feelings on the whole Ezra stuff, but I'm not saying his performance was bad, but I never connected to him.
Yeah.
I never once connected to the character of Barry Allen through Ezra Miller.
He's not a good Barry.
No, he's not. And I've been saying it since he was casted because I'm kind of he's my favorite DC hero, Flash. Like he's my guy. I love him to death. I've just never really bought into Ezra being the character. And I liked some of the story beats. I liked some of the decisions. And I think Andy Muschietti as a director is phenomenal.
Are you confident with him doing Brave and the Bold?
I am because of the Ben Affleck Batman stuff that he did in this movie.
Okay.
Some of the Michael Keaton stuff was really interesting. Really interesting.
That makes me feel better.
Supergirl she's probably like my second favorite part of the whole movie. If she doesn't come back to play the character, it's an absolute crime.
That's what everyone's saying.
She embodies that role, and I learned today that Andy Muschietti told her to not read or look up Supergirl at all, to just play the character.
Oh,
yeah, she just played the character.
Literally made it her own.
Like just totally embodied what she thought the character should have been.
That's cool.
Yeah, I don't know. I think and it's in the trailers. I think the biggest problem I had with it, and some of the universes do this, some movies do this. Everything DCEU was related directly to the events of Man of Steel. Directly. Yes. Everything came from that one event. And that's fine to an extent. But there's a move in this movie that I really did not like that had to do with Man of Steel. And it just, I'm not going to say anything else other than that. But, I mean, like I said, it was fine. It was fine. But, I don't know. It's a bummer that nothing will ever come from it. Like, it's over and done with. Because the ending, I'm telling you guys right now, y'all are going to lose your minds at the ending. Like
angry lose our minds, or like mind blown?
Possibly. It depends on the person. But it's a wild ending. Wild ending. Like if this universe was continuing with that ending,
choices.
Oh my god, choices. I want to tell you guys so bad.
I mean, you can tell me later.
If the girls want to know, I tell them off air. I won't tell Brian, but like,
yeah, because I don't mind. Because I'm probably honestly not gonna see it.
I don't care either.
Like, I sat there and I was like,
you can tell them I'm gonna see it tomorrow, so don't tell me.
Yeah,
but yeah. So why do we think it flopped? Because
there's no point at this point with it.
Yeah,
just like Aquaman, there's no point.
No, I think there's a couple.
And Ezra Miller's a piece of trash.
So here's my takeaway. One, I think the Ezra Miller thing was a big deal, like a big deal, much bigger than they realized. And I also think him appearing at the world premiere in Los Angeles was a huge mistake.
Yes,
huge mistake.
Notice how he had like a babysitter, and they were like,
and it was the week of the movie coming out. Like, okay, make him appear a couple weeks beforehand, or make a statement on video or something, but you had him show up the Monday before the movie came out. And then all of that stuff will then resurface because people are searching Ezra Miller. 2, the trailers showed a lot. Because they had to market the movie to get people on board. It showed a lot other than the surprise cameos. And the ending.
Because they didn't even drop Keaton until after all the Ezra stuff started coming out. So they were like, shit, we need to show something.
Yeah, it's very interesting. And I think that what Brian said, having the new version of the DC universe coming to fruition as this one is kind of bringing the Snyderverse to a close. And people had no idea if it was like in between or if it's gonna continue.
Well, my thought, I haven't seen it, but my thought was, they're gonna use this flashpoint as a way to kind of explain why everything's changing. And then I realized they finished this movie a year ago before any of the changes were like even announced.
So I'll say this.
Oh God. Okay. Is it spoilery? Jeez.
No, there is a way they can still use it.
Oh, for Christ's
as like
sake.
a flashpoint.
There is very much a way at the end that they could still use it.
Is this basically DC doing the multiverse?
Yes.
Yeah. I feel like a lot of the stuff DC's doing, it's like Marvel had just recently done it.
Yeah.
And
to be
just
fair,
like...
DC, I think, tapped into the multiverse first.
So that was part of my argument from the very beginning. Flashpoint Paradox is arguably one of the biggest DC stories
100%.
ever created.
No question.
It's
like they did it for the first ever Flash movie. The first ever Flash movie.
Yeah.
It was not a smart decision because you are throwing literally the kitchen sink at the first go. If it had a sequel, what do? Just a bank robbery in Central City?
Yeah.
Like there's no follow-up.
And he has such a fantastic rogues gallery. He has arguably top 5 some of the best villains in all of comic books.
I agree. And I'm going to kind of pinpoint what Sensation just said. DC, in my opinion, as far as comic books goes, has the best multiverse aspect. Yes. Marvel's done it better in adapting, and it seems like they'll just never figure it out. Like, it's kind of a multiverse story, but it's obviously related to the Speed Force, which then connects to the multiverse in a way. It really contains itself for the majority of the movie inside just the Speed Force and the fact that he can travel back in time and that stuff, because that's what Flashpoint Paradox is. I just some of the moves were very interesting. It was very, very interesting. I don't know.
It's interesting to me with the entire, like, when it comes to the DCEU, how with James Gunn taking over, he was, and I don't know if this, clearly it hurt the movie. It didn't help with him, like, going all in with Flash and going, this is the best thing ever. This is great. Yeah, we're keeping Ezra. We're going to fire everybody else, but we're going to keep the problematic actor.
Yeah.
Like, I think that was definitely a choice.
It was a big swing and a miss to
it was
keep him on.
Walking out of the theater, I could not believe that a month, maybe 2 months prior, I think the movie debuted at Comic-Con Brazil. I think they actually showed the full movie. And like, not everyone, but a large majority of people walked out of that movie and on Twitter saying, this is one of the greatest comic book movies ever made.
Well, people are still saying that.
I cannot believe that statement. I cannot believe that they are putting this movie in the likes of The Dark Knight, Infinity War, Winter Soldier, Logan. It baffles me because it's not even in my top 3 DCEU movies. It's not even close to the top of my list.
Top 5?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I don't know if it'd be top 5, but it's not in top 3. Like it's cool. Like there's some cool things, but I don't know. I wanted to bring up what Andy said though. He talked about the reliance of Keaton as Batman. It also didn't really feel like a Flash movie part of the time.
Yeah.
I think the thing that is
very hard to swallow, but
well, they probably had to pivot a lot of the movie away from him to just try.
Yeah.
It's essentially a DCEU movie. It's like a DCEU all-star greatest hits movie is what it is.
Yeah. They should have renamed it that then. Or something along those lines.
DCEU greatest hits.
Okay, we do have a couple stream super chats I want to get to. Kind of continue the conversation here. This one's from Tim. Thank you, Tim. So the Flash bombing is certainly have to be a combination of factors between Ezra Miller's behavior, the studio's decision to push it, and the state of DCU, which played a significant part. I mean, yeah, I think we touched on all of those.
Yeah.
The movie was announced in 2018, by the way. Or it was supposed to be originally released in 2018. That was its original release date. It was 2018.
Wow.
This makes me so happy that they never got to Green Lantern.
Yeah.
This whole universe, like Green Lantern's my favorite. Arguably, probably my favorite comic book character ever. And that's coming from someone that's more of a fan of Marvel stuff. So, like, I was obviously getting upset that it kept getting pushed back further and further.
And now you're like, thank God.
Now I'm like, holy crap. Like, because that first movie, Ryan Reynolds' version, did so much damage to the property that if they did it again, and then it was another shitter, that you probably wouldn't have seen Lanterns around for a while. And I'm so glad that they waited. Or not even waited, just didn't have the right tools. And it's what blows my mind the most about this whole thing is I literally out of curiosity looked up movie times for tomorrow because I'm going to go see it tomorrow. First 3, bless you. The first 3 that I selected from 2 different theaters, there is not one ticket sold.
Oh God.
Not one. So every single seat is available.
It's projected to lose over $300 million for the studio.
Oh my God. Well, Black Adam had a better opening than The Flash did.
Black Adam, Black Widow,
and
Uncharted.
Keep this in mind. Those were on normal 3-day weekend releases. This was a 4-day holiday.
4-day.
I've never seen
anything as bad. And WB pumped so much money into marketing this movie.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
they
much
had
money
to
into marketing.
I've just never seen anything. I'm literally looking at tomorrow this one movie theater near where I live, and I'm on the
and it's summer, so people could be like, "Oh, well, because it's a Tuesday afternoon. It's summer vacation."
Yeah,
not until the 4th.
Seeing these movies.
The 4th movie time at 1:00 is there a single seat sold. Yeah, and there's 4 before it,
and it's the first week.
The start of the second week. And that hasn't even been a full week.
It'll be gone by not this weekend, but next weekend, because Indiana Jones comes out, and then Oppenheimer and Barbie and Mission Impossible, and it's going to be gone in a heartbeat.
Yep.
They don't even have enough space for like Tom Cruise is pushing Barbie out, so there's no way this is
trying to.
Yeah. Tom Cruise is?
Yeah, he wants because Oppenheimer has like basically the rights to the IMAX because Barbie and Oppenheimer are going head to head, but Tom Cruise is like trying to push Barbie out even further so that way his goes into it.
Well, Barbie's not in IMAX.
No, I know, but I meant like the Dolby big screens and the XD ones.
Yeah, so. I'm sure it'll be fine. The way that movie's getting reviewed today.
Barbie.
I've seen
Mission
like
Impossible.
Yeah, Mission Impossible.
Like as in good or bad?
People are saying it's the best of the entire franchise.
Oh, really? I've seen a lot of people saying it's the worst.
I've seen like one or the other.
Oh, the majority of people that I followed today basically said it's one of the most exhilarating action movies they've ever seen.
That's so funny because the very first person I saw said it was absolute garbage, and it was a decent named person too. I forget. Let's see.
Okay,
Scott Mendelson said was a big letdown. Wonky dialogue, felt off, and he's being generous.
All right, next super chat here comes from Gio. He's actually got 2 in a row. But first one, I actually liked Flash for what they did. Supergirl should be cast definitely more. As far as stakes, what could you really do with DC changing / reboot? Jill said it earlier. This movie was shot before all that was made into motion.
Mm-hmm.
So there was actually a lot of stakes, in my opinion, anyway.
Yeah, but
I wonder how much of it was reshoots, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think we'll ever know that with this specific movie.
I'm just still mad that they released this and they trashed Batgirl. I'll never forgive them for that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or that they're pushing Blue Beetle forward and trashed Batgirl.
Okay, I'm sorry, Blue Beetle. I watched the trailer. I have zero interest in Blue
We talked
Beetle.
about it on here. I think it looks like a CW show.
It looks like a CW show. And I love Jolo. Like, I love him to bits. But, like, it looks like a CW show. It does not look good. I'm sorry.
I don't. My thing is, I agree. But I also kind of... It doesn't matter that much because it's like, it's not Superman, it's not Batman, it's not.
Still,
like, don't get me wrong, I am not putting down Blue Beetle.
That's like saying Guardians of the Galaxy doesn't matter because it's not Captain America.
I'm not saying he doesn't matter, but like, they can use his character in other stuff. If God forbid this movie does awful, they can still use the character and just not give him another singular movie. Like, it's because it's its own little bubble.
Well, maybe with the rate that cast is being dropped from DC, you never really know at this point.
I mean, they could. He made it pretty blatantly clear that he's a part of his universe, but
hi, puppies.
There's no stakes. Like,
that's fair.
Groundbreaking stakes in if this movie is
it's not like a Batman film
or success. Yeah,
like if Brave and the Bold flops, then we have a whole other.
Then you have a major problem.
Yeah,
even Superman's first. If Superman flops, that's not a good sign.
No.
So.
All right, next one from Gio here. With Ezra, I understand they have done bad things. They are mentally ill. So should bashing be a thing people do? They have been in treatment too.
They've been in treatment now, but it took too long.
It took too long. And there's a certain point where, yes, people can have mental illness. I've dealt with people very close to me who have had like bipolar, full-on manic bipolar episodes. And after a certain point, it's like, yes, they have a mental illness. There's a certain point where it's, if they're refusing help, like it sometimes it doesn't excuse the behavior, and it can't be used as like a scapegoat. Yeah. A lot of people
especially
have
when you're a famous person if you're a famous person making millions of dollars and people are looking up to you, and you are a representation of someone's beloved character and stuff like that.
Yeah, he doesn't want to change.
No.
I mean, he might now, but I mean, now it might be too late. Like,
not everyone with mental illness kidnaps people.
Yeah,
like
or breaks into houses,
or breaks into houses, or
didn't he like try to beat up a woman?
Yeah,
in
multiple times. He did. They did.
Yeah, well, he threw a book. I think they threw a book at.
It's like filmed. Like he assaulted a woman.
Either way, it's the fact that it kept happening over and over and over again, and it kept being pushed under the rug. Mm-hmm. He'll get better. They'll get better. It'll be fine. And it didn't.
Yeah.
And then now that the movie was coming out, it was like, okay, we need to do everything we can to contain this until the movie comes out. Because guess what? It's sad, and I hope this isn't true. I guarantee you, once this is all done, WB is going to be like, he's not our problem anymore.
Apparently, according to James Gunn, they're keeping, Ezra's staying, according to James Gunn.
If you're losing your company $300 million, I don't see how that's possible.
Yeah.
But either way, what I'm saying is you don't just get to fix them for the little bit that you need them and then be done. Like, that person needs to get the help. And honestly, it didn't seem like they wanted it for a while.
It didn't seem like they wanted to be at that premiere.
I didn't see
it looked like they were being once. It looked like they were being held hostage.
I mean, to be fair, I'm sure he was very scared, but
they should be, because acting a goddamn fool.
Exactly. I mean, at some point you have to. I mean, if any of the four of us were to do consecutively those things that he did, we would be in jail.
Yeah.
No question.
We would certainly not let you on the show until you got the help you needed. We'd be like, sorry, no.
Exactly. But the celebrity saved them. The company, the movie, that saved them. Mm-hmm. Any normal person that's not on TV, not in movies, would be in jail.
If I'm kidnapping somebody, I'm not seeing the light of day.
Exactly. So there's a fine line between letting it go and someone having a condition.
It's the multiple offenses. Like there's a certain point where you can't use mental illness as an excuse anymore. Yeah. Like
especially if you've never even attempted to get the help. If you would have done something bad, gotten the help, been good for a while, and then relapsed or had a slip up, okay, you tried. But there was never
look at a recent example. Look at Amanda Bynes. Like, Amanda Bynes just had a manic breakdown recently. She realized it. She immediately got herself help. And like, she's been having issues. She's been having these same things going on for 15 years at this point now. It's really unfortunate, but she has been actively, trying to get the help. And yes, she'll go off and she'll go stop getting help, but then she'll go back. And so it's unfortunate, but she is actively trying to get help for it. Ezra, I feel like, is just brushing it off.
The help was never there until this movie became in jeopardy.
And then it was
this person we need to make sure he gets help.
Yeah.
They get help, excuse me.
I know, I keep saying he.
I know, sorry.
All right, final super chat of the night. Thank you so much, D-Train. Much appreciated. I like The Flash a lot more the second time around, although I do think the third act is still the weakest and Supergirl was underutilized. Still a good watch. Ezra was actually pretty good.
Yeah. I mean,
I'm glad people are enjoying it. Like I am. Yeah.
There's a lot of discourse about if it's people are loving it, people are hating it. It's one of those you love it or you don't movies.
I'm an in-betweener. I think it's like if I was to do a number system, I'd give.
Would you put this before or after on your list of the Suicide Squad? Not the Suicide Squad, just
OG Suicide Squad.
Above. That's the worst of the DCEU movies.
Correct.
Second worst behind the original Justice League, but that's fine.
Is this above Wonder Woman 84?
Yes.
I love Wonder
Oh,
Woman 84.
okay.
Well, I didn't like 84 very much.
What about Dawn of Justice?
No, I'd have that above.
Oh, okay, that tells me all I need to know.